Welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. The show where community comes first, leadership is amplified, and impact is the expectation, not the exception. Covering 12 thriving municipalities across Collin County, we spotlight the professionals, creatives, nonprofit leaders, and bold connectors who are shaping the future of North Texas. From McKinney to Melissa, from Plano to Prosper, from Frisco to Fairview. Each episode dives into the issues that matter most to our local business and civic communities. From leadership and entrepreneurship to education, economic growth, service, innovation, and the power of collaboration. If it impacts how we live, lead, or grow in Collin County, we talk about it. The Community Difference is powered by the Business Development Alliance and made possible by the Difference Media LLC. With a trusted team of co-hosts who live, work, and lead in the communities we serve, this show is built on collaboration and powered by people who mesh. Now, getting today's conversation started, your host, Brian Poduska.
Good morning, Collin County, and welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. We are a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host. My name is Brian Poduska. I am the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments right here in Collin County, headquartered in Frisco, live in Frisco, 13-year resident here. If you haven't seen our show before, let me tell you, it's a fun one. We get to put the spotlight on 5 key types of community leaders. So those would be business owners, entrepreneurs, political leaders, which we'll hear from today, Frisco, or just not just Frisco, but ISD leadership in general, nonprofit leadership, and then sports leadership. Since right here in Frisco, we are Sports City, USA, and sports are huge up here in North Texas. If you haven't seen our show, again, just a reminder that we do have rotating business features of the month. We have some politicians here locally, leaders, community leaders, public servants on as our guests this month. In the past few months, we've spotlighted local chambers of commerce, EDCs, economic development corporations, and we've explored how small businesses can expand with financing options, whether it be conventional or some creative financial opportunities. Like I said, we're featuring some Collin County mayors this month, and we're going to be diving into the topic of how business owners can partner with their community leaders to get involved in the community and build their businesses that way. In addition to rotating business topics, we have rotating co-hosts. So without further ado, let's bring them in one by one. We'll go ladies first. So our first co-host knows that success in business and in life means getting back up, laughing it off, and connecting with your pack. Suzanna Austin, owner of K9 Resorts Luxury Pet Hotel in Plano, combines award-winning pet care with a stand-up comedy routine that keeps tails wagging and clients smiling. She's here to show us how bringing personality and heart into your community connections can make your business truly sit, stay, and thrive. Let's say hello to Suzanna.
Good morning. It is morning.
Still morning, barely. We got about a half hour left. How are you today, Suzanna? Good to see you.
I'm doing great, Brian. Thank you. How are you?
I, too, am doing well. It's still early in the week, so there's plenty of time for that to change, but hopefully not. Good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
For sure. All right, let's bring in our next co-host who has done it all, from channeling Elmo on demand to literally playing Elf on the Shelf. Clarence Jorif, owner of the Compound Nevada, brings that same creative energy and community spirit into everything he does. With a motto like, just do the darn thing, he's the perfect voice to explore how getting involved locally isn't just good for business, it's how real connections and maybe a few legendary stories are made. Let's say hello to CJ.
Good morning, everyone. How you doing?
Fantastic. How are you today, my friend?
Hey, let's go. Let's just do the darn thing. Come on.
Let's do the darn thing. All right. I love it. Let's get after it. With that, let's just dive right in and let's bring in our guests. And we'll continue with the theme of ladies first, okay? Our first guest may be the only person in her family who can whistle, but she's been rallying her community to sing in harmony for years. Mayor Vicki Sanson of Lavon, Texas, brings a mix of small town charm, big picture leadership, and a dash of ketchup on a hot dog confidence to everything she does. She's here to share how building community connections isn't just festive fun, it's the secret to lasting local success. Let's say hello to Mayor Sanson.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here today.
Well, good morning, Vicki. Good to have you on today. I got to tell you, I don't necessarily know if I can handle this food choice. I'm from Chicago, and a Chicago hot dog does not involve ketchup.
Well, it does. It really should. You should try it. Very good. And very simple.
We won't hold that against you.
Well, but me or Brian?
Well, we can agree to disagree, okay? That's one thing in politics that we need to do more of. We can agree to disagree.
Yes.
No, all kidding aside, great to have you on the show, and we appreciate you spending some time with us today.
Well, thank you.
For sure. All right, let's say hello to our second guest, who is proof that great leaders don't just wait their turn. They step up and make things happen. Mayor Amir Omar of Richardson may be able to fall asleep in seconds. What a gift that is. So, and connecting people, he's wide awake and all in. He's here to share how true impact starts with getting involved and leaving your seat better than you found it. Let's say hello to Mayor Omar.
Hey guys.
Hey Mayor, thanks for joining us today.
Hi.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
How are things
Mayor
in the
Omar.
lovely burg of Richardson today?
Things are busy as ever, and we're just incredibly excited here. We got a lot of fun things going on all over our city, and I know we'll get a chance to chat about some of that over the next hour or so.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us, and we look forward to hearing more about what is going on in Richardson. But with that, let's bring on our last but certainly not least guest. Our final guest is from Frisco, Mayor Jeff Cheney. He's a man who can practice yoga and still keep the city running like clockwork. With deep roots in both business and community, Jeff knows firsthand how building connections locally can create opportunities, strengthen partnerships, and grow success. He's here to share why getting involved in your community is one of the smartest moves for any business. Let's bring on Mayor Cheney.
All right. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to the conversation.
Hey, Jeff. Good to see you again. Welcome back.
Hey, Jeff.
Good to see you. Hey.
So I have to say the last time, so you were on our live panel discussion at the NAC Theater during our Business Development Alliance conversation that we had back in August. And I believe that was the first kickoff week of college football. You're a Longhorn, right?
Yes. Okay.
So I've got to ask this, now that we're, 3/4 of the way through the season or so, what's the pulse in Longhorn Nation right now after that thrilling victory last weekend?
Yeah, back-to-back overtime wins over the mighty Kentucky and Mississippi State. You know, I always drink the burnt orange Kool-Aid. So, you know, we still control our own destiny. So we'll see what happens the rest of the season, and hopefully we figure it out and continue to find ways to win.
Love it. Well, big game at the end of the calendar there in Austin, I believe, against A&M. That should be a good one.
Yeah, I hate to admit the Aggies are looking pretty good this year. So I don't know how confident I am about that one.
We can do this. We can do this.
Well, I'm going to say gig 'em again. We can agree to disagree on this one. My daughter goes to A&M. My money goes to A&M. So I've got to root for the Aggies on that one.
Fair enough.
Awesome. Well, with that, guys, thank you all again for joining us today. We're going to have a great conversation here. We're going to learn about, some of the local cities right here in Collin County. We're going to learn about what's going on in those cities in the next segment. So stick around. We will be right back.
The Community Difference, Collin County, is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Ralwin with the Beer Alwin Realty Group, Debbie Watson with Abercadoodle, Danielle Cook with No Sweat Experts, Kim Wallace with Farmers Insurance, Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners, Suzanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Mina Singh College Prep Coach, Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, and by Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel. The Community Difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Cooking in Collin County?
All right, you heard it there. What's Cooking in Collin County is the name of the segment, and we're going to go around the horn and just tell you what's going on in Collin County in the coming weeks, maybe a month or two out, depending on what the event is. But with that, I'd like to allow our guests to go first, and with that, ladies first. So, Mayor Sanson, can you tell us what's going on in the city of Lavon?
Well, certainly. On December 5th, we have our Christmas tree lighting with vendor fair. So everybody come on out and listen to our elementary school choirs singing to us and shop at the vendor fair for all your Christmas presents from local Lavon vendors. And December 13th, we have our fire department breakfast with Santa. So come on by and have pancakes or donuts and get your picture taken.
Okay. Sounds like some good times in Lavon. Appreciate you sharing that. Let's move over to Mayor Omar. What's going on in Richardson, my friend?
Yeah, so the big news from this most recent week was that we just opened up the Silver Line that actually connects Richardson essentially to the rest of the world. We now have direct rail connection all the way to DFW Airport. I would encourage everyone this entire week. There's actually free ridership, so you can test it out and see how reliable it is to get you all the way to DFW and back. But for something like $6 or $8, you can avoid parking, driving, all the different issues whenever you want to get out to DFW Airport. And speaking of access to the world, being an international city, we're really thrilled about a thing that we call Culture in the Core that's coming up November 8th. And that gives people in our city and beyond an opportunity to come into our downtown, enjoy some of the many cultures that we celebrate on that day. And be able to not only have cuisine from all around the world, which is something that we're known for as a foodie city, but also be able to see a lot of cultural performances that will occur throughout the day on the 8th. So welcome over to Richardson. Whether you ride over here on rail or you decide to drive on up, we welcome you.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. Mayor Cheney, what's going on in Frisco?
Yeah, well, Sports City USA and the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately, we are not planning a Super Bowl parade at this point. We'll see if our Cowboys improve the rest of the season. But we are welcoming a new football team. So the Renegades will play their football. They've moved from Arlington and play at Toyota Stadium. So we're excited about that. And here quickly, we recognize or host our newest professional women's volleyball team, the Pulse. Will be playing here in Frisco. Lots of programming, as the other mayor said, happening during the holidays from our Visit Frisco team and our Parks and Rec team. So be on the lookout for a lot of program events around town. But some major milestone projects are nearing completion, from Universal Studios Kids Resort, which we will cut the ribbon on early next year, to our historic rail district, completing nearly $80 million of improvements that are right at the finish line there. So we're excited about leading into what will be a busy 2026.
Well, and in that 2026 comes a World Cup. Big Frisco's a big center for that. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff culminating right around there. So exciting times to come in 2026 for sure.
Absolutely. The World Cup is going to take over the region for the month of June for sure.
Yep. Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you sharing that. Suzanna, let's go to you next. What's happening in Collin County?
Well, all right. You need to mark your calendars for Friday, November 7th, because it's time for us to sparkle for a cause. Cody's Friends Rescue is hosting Bark and Bling, an evening of sparkle and second chances at Southwest Gallery in Dallas from 7 to 10:30 p.m. There'll be a buffet dinner, signature cocktails, wine and beer, live music by Scott McCurry, plus live and silent auction items and some pretty awesome raffle prizes. It's glitzy, but not formal. So come comfy, come hungry, and come ready to do some good. Cody's Friends Rescue is an all-volunteer group giving dogs their shot at a fresh start, saving, training, and rehoming pups all over North Texas. So grab your sparkle, grab your friends, and join us for a night of food, fun, and furry second chances.
Love it. Awesome. And that's it, right, Susanna? That's the one thing. Okay, cool. Appreciate you highlighting that. CJ, what's going on in Collin County?
It's all about family fun, bottom line. First thing is movie night on the square, downtown Salina. Friday evenings at 7 p.m. You get a chance to enjoy outdoor movie screening with food trucks and cozy blankets. The location is 112 North Colorado Street, Salina. This event is perfect for families and neighbors looking to unwind and get together. Then it comes down to, hey, what's wrong with hands-on learning? Hey, get into the mix. Tinkers and Thinkers. Joe Farmer Recreation Center in Allen. It's on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Kids and families can dive into science and art projects, including robotics and engineering challenges. It's a great mix of fun and education. Dinos. Dinosaurs Live at the Hurd Natural Science Museum in McKinney. It runs daily this week from 9 to 4 p.m. The exhibit features life-size animatronic dinosaurs in a natural setting. I can't tell my daughter Cynthia about that because she still has nightmares from Jurassic Park, but it's okay. It's still a hit with kids and curious adults alike. There's also nature story time, also at the Hurd Museum. Fridays at 10 a.m. Enjoy nature-themed storytelling for young children in a scenic environment. Here comes that sports theme again. And yeah, Jeff, I agree with you. I don't plan on any Super Bowl parades at all. But we do have the Allen Americans hockey. They play at the Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Friday is opening night. It's called Opening Night Red Out. Saturday is something called Wizard Night. Both games start at 7 p.m. and offer themed fun for fans. I guess the theme could be something to do with Halloween this year, so let's see what happens. Last but not least, there's always local markets. The historic McKinney Farmers Market, Saturday from 8 to 12. You get to shop fresh produce, handmade goods, and local treats in a historic, charming location. So that wraps it up for what's going on in Collin County, but there's a lot happening.
There certainly is, and I will add a few more things of what's going on here in Frisco. Busy weekend this past weekend. Rollertown Beer Works opened across the entire weekend. Their grand opening happened. Weather didn't totally cooperate, but from everything that I saw, it looked like a great success. I did take a stroll through there for Saturday afternoon, and the place was hopping, so it was great to see that. We had the Halloween in Warren Park. We had the Party, get it, P-A-R-T-E-E at PGA Frisco. Pretty cool little theme there. So all that happened this past weekend. Also want to just mention, also going on at PGA Frisco, one of our partners here on the show, they have a Halloween blood drive coming up. Carter Blood Care is sponsoring a Halloween blood drive this Friday, October 31st. 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Get up there and help out the cause if you can. Also going on in PGA Frisco, and this is every week, but they've got Tri-Golf Clinic, Women's Golf Clinic, Junior Golf Clinic, Short Game Clinics, all kinds of great things going on over at the T-Mobile Training Center at PGA Frisco. Also want to call out the Mayor Cheney mentioned this, the rail district. The renovation is happening now, wrapping up early 2026. If you haven't noticed, they have decked out all their storefronts at the rail district. So there is a vote going on online. Get out there to the Frisco website, and you can cast your vote for your favorite display. That voting ends October 31st, so jump online and do that now. Also coming up is the feedback session for the proposed animal facility. So that'll be on November 3rd. Frisco residents are invited to a special called meeting on November 3rd to share the feedback on a proposed public-private partnership for the new animal facility. The meeting begins at 7 p.m. inside City Hall, right there in Frisco Square. Also, November 4th, elections coming up, first Tuesday of November. Last day of early voting is this Friday, October 31st. Election day is November 4th. If you need to find out where you can go to the city's website to check out the polling locations. They may be different than what you did in this past election, so definitely check that out. Also want to mention the 2025 Community Parade. Come show off your community spirit at the 2025 Frisco Community Parade happening Saturday, November 15th, 10 a.m. Come celebrate Frisco schools, honor our veterans at this annual tradition. You can also still register your organization. The deadline for that is tomorrow, October 29th. The parade location historically has been in the Rail District downtown. However, it will be in Hall Park this year. Walking only route will go down Internet Boulevard and end in Kaleidoscope Park on Warren Parkway. Come on out, enjoy some family-friendly activities following the parade. And then Mayor Cheney already mentioned the additions to Sports City USA, so look forward to having those teams join Frisco in 2026. Finally, we've got the BDA. So, Lennon, why don't you throw up the splash screen if you can? The Business Development Alliance, I mentioned it earlier. This is a live event that happens every month at the NAC Theater in the Rail District in downtown Frisco. It's typically the fourth Wednesday of every month. However, because of the upcoming holidays, it's going to be the third Wednesday in November. So November 19th at the NAC Theater, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a great event. We have live panel discussion. There you go. There's an example of it right there. There's somebody we see on the screen up there on the panel. Thanks for joining us for that, Jeff. That was a great discussion we had with all you guys that day. So we feature local leaders, right? And we do it in person. There's a roughly 15 to 20 minutes of networking up front. We have the panel discussion, open audience Q&A during that, at the end of that, and then also have some networking at the end of it. You can get lunch as well. So come join us for the next BDA, again, Wednesday, November 19th at the NAC Theater in downtown Frisco. Okay, that is a lot, isn't it? Man, that's amazing how much is going on in Collin County. It's funny because every week we do this, we're like, all right, well, the weather's starting to turn. There's not going to be as much to do. But here we go. Still plenty of stuff to do outside. And we hear a lot of things going on indoors now, too. Great to see hockey back in Allen. Love going to those Allen American games. All right, so that'll do it for What's Cooking in Collin County. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come out of that, and we're going to dive into the meat of the discussion today, and that is how getting involved in your community can help you from a business perspective. So stick around. We will be right back and dive into that topic next.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. And as you heard before the commercial break, we're going to dive into the meat of this topic, right? And that is getting involved in your community and how that can help you from a business perspective and really just a relationship building perspective, because business is driven off of relationships. We know that. We've talked about that on this show quite a bit. I love having the different sizes of community on the show today. So we go from Lavon of, what'd you say, Vicki? 13,000?
13,000-ish, yep.
Okay, so 13,000 population, up to Frisco is pushing 240,000 now. We may be over that number by now. And then Richardson has to be in the middle there somewhere, but probably much closer to Frisco. Mayor Omar, what's the rough population of Richardson now?
We're hovering around 120,000 now.
Okay, 120. All right, so we've got right in the middle. So I love having that different spectrum, and of course, different challenges, different opportunities come with each one of those different population sizes, number of commercial operations, businesses, etc. Before we dive into community-specific questions and things like that, what I'd like to do is ask each one of you. I'm always intrigued, and I've read all your bios, so I know each one of you has a long history of public service. So I want to ask each one of you, what sparked your interest in getting involved in the community, and in particular, putting yourself out there to be council member first? I know in the case of Mayor Omar and Mayor Cheney, Vicki, it sounds like you jumped right into what sparked your interest in being a public servant? And we'll go ladies first. Vicki, what's your thoughts on that?
Thanks.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Lucky for you guys. I got on planning and zoning in 2014. I had always followed what was going on with the council, but my kids were in school, so I had all the kid stuff going on. So once they all graduated, I was able to dive into the city, and so I got on planning and zoning just so I could see how Lavon worked. And then when I started going to the planning and zoning meetings, then I thought, well, okay, that's one piece. So then what about Parks and Rec, and what about the EDC, and what about council? So I was going to all the meetings, seeing how all the pieces fit together. So it was really advantageous to figure out what was going on, because I didn't know this came first and then it was this and this. So I really think that people should just start at the bottom and work your way up, because if you don't, you're going to miss all the good stuff on the bottom. Yeah,
love that. And similar with me, I moved to Frisco 13 years ago, and I had a corporate job. I was working in corporate America, and I really kind of lived in that corporate bubble, and I didn't get involved in the community until I started my own business and realized, man, there's a lot of people that I don't know in town. There's a lot of circles that I haven't run in. And I just started meeting more and more people, learning more. And I'll give Frisco a little bit of love here. There's so much growth that I've experienced in the last 13 years. I can't imagine for those who moved here, before 2000 to see what it was then and what it is now. But it just, the understanding, and as I got more involved, did the Leadership Frisco program, started understanding a lot of these public-private partnerships that occurred and what made some of these things happen, right? It just started fueling that fire. So I can relate on that level, is just get involved. Start small. There's all kinds of commissions, boards that you can get involved in. And the more people that you talk to, the more you learn how a city ticks and how it operates. So great perspective. Love it. Mayor Omar, how about yourself?
Yeah, so I'd second the opinion of starting at the beginning, right? My start was much more chamber focused. Got involved in young professionals, and ultimately became a big volunteer with the chamber, an ambassador. Really got a lot of good visibility of what our business community looked like. That ultimately became me committing myself to actually sitting through every single council meeting, start to finish, work sessions and council meetings, deciding that a Monday night football game would not get in the way. And I did that because I was starting to consider whether or not I should run for city council. And the only way I was going to allow myself to do it is if I had the discipline to be able to sit through those meetings, not allow things to get in the way. Because once you get elected, at that point, there's no excuse, and you're on the main stage at that point. But it also gave me, on top of the experiences I had going through the chamber, it gave me experience of understanding every single topic that had been talked about in the last year, understanding how the decisions were made. And frankly, it helped create some clarity for me way back when I first ran for city council of who to even run against, because I wanted to determine where I could be most impactful and where I felt I would be taking away the least amount of diversity in thinking and experience and background. And so that's how I initially got involved, serving a couple terms as a city council person, and staying involved over a course of, 14 years before deciding to run for mayor. So from my perspective, really starting at those early stages, really getting a good, strong background so that you know what the heck you're talking about and doing is really helpful in terms of being able to govern decently once you finally get in office.
Love that. And that echoes very nicely kind of the progression that we've done on the show. We started with the Chambers of Commerce. So you mentioned that you first got involved with the Chamber of Commerce. So yeah, that EDCs, eventually mayors, city council members, things like that. So love hearing that progression. Thanks for sharing. Mm-hmm. Mayor Cheney, how about yourself? You've got quite the track record between council, you're a business owner here in Frisco. Your wife owns a business as well. Tell us what sparked your guys, both your entrepreneurial journey and then also your public service.
Yeah, well, thankfully our meetings are on Tuesdays. That may have been a deal killer for me. Monday night football, so I didn't have to deal with that decision. But yeah, I would say kind of similar stories as the other mayors. I mean, my wife and I, we moved to Frisco when our kids were really young, and we moved here because we believed in the Frisco small school model. That's the environment we wanted to raise them, and education is really important to both of us. And I stuck my toe in the water serving on the Frisco Education Foundation here in Frisco. I applied for planning and zoning, and I was so politically naive at the time. Being in real estate, I thought I was a really strong candidate, and I did not get the position. And so I didn't really understand that. And so I started attending more council meetings. And finally, I was like, if I want to be here, I'm going to be kind of part of what's happening and help build a community that my children are going to be raised in. And just like the other mayors, it's, you see a common theme is, once you stick your toe in the water, and you start drinking the Kool-Aid, and you want to become more and more part of what's happening in your community. And so, that's when I first ran for city council in 2007. At the time, all three of my kids were under the age of 5. Perfect time to run. And then, we had no idea what we were doing, but thankfully I was elected and learned that I just loved the position. So I served as a council member for 9 years, and now I'm in my final year as mayor. So I'm winding down 18 years of service. Like I said, starting when all 3 kids were under the age of 5, and now all 3 are out of high school and in college and graduating. So it's been quite a journey, but I think kind of what you allude to, it's been, a blessing for our family. I believe strongly that people that have businesses that serve the community, they should also spend their time serving the community, whatever capacity works for them. And so that's the type of people I like to do business with, that have that shared value system, from a client perspective and a business to business perspective. So, you mentioned that being a theme of today's call, but I believe, strongly that business owners that serve their community can find ways to get plugged in, and they'll find it beneficial, not just from the people they get to meet, but then find other people and businesses that share those same values.
That's awesome. That's awesome. First and foremost, as a former city councilman and mayor pro tem, All three of you embody service to others. I see it. I hear it. I went through your backgrounds. That's what makes the difference across the board. Those that have honesty and integrity and will put themselves out there for the benefit of others, you three epitomize that. So first and foremost, let me thank you for that. Let me start off, yes, ladies first. So the mindset here is businesses. As we all know, businesses are the platform, the base of what helps make our cities run through our sales and use taxes, and just it affords an opportunity for a thriving community. With that having been said, Mayor Sanson, how does a small business earn your trust?
Well, we're a small town, so our town is being built on small businesses. That's all we have right now. So we don't have any major employers except for our school district. So every small business that we have is critical to our city. We don't have the luxury of a downtown like Wiley or Rockwall or Farmersville, like some of the other cities have. So we're trying to have our own Main Street district, so we can bring, we can say, here's our zoning, and here's what we'd like to see here, and let's bring it in for our residents. And I, as a member of the Lavon Economic Development Corporation, I work very hard to foster the relationships that we have with our small businesses, because they have to do well, and the citizens have to want to go to them. So we have to make sure that the businesses are putting out, hey, here's where we are, here's what we have, and the residents are like, yeah, I like that. I'm going to go check it out, because we need them. We need them to grow and be bigger like the other cities.
The base that you're providing by those businesses, and yeah, I'm a little prejudiced, because the base is there for your residents. Those businesses support your residents support those businesses, and it helps to some degree keep the money in Lavon versus running down the road to Wiley, or hey, come on and see us in Rockwall. But it's all about community first.
Yes.
Mayor Omar, same question.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I think it comes down to kind of showing up consistently. We have a really great mix of incredibly large, iconic companies that have chosen to make their homes here in Richardson. But we also have, and we also thrive very much on that small business community. And so whether they be the largest of our companies or the smallest, what I'm looking for, and what stands out to me is a company that is truly showing up consistently, looking not only at how they can benefit their own bottom line, but how they can be overall a great corporate citizen. What are they doing in areas that matter to them? And by the way, not every company is going to be interested in helping out with the arts or being a part of our parks, but there's almost inevitably something that each company has in their core values, including small companies, that can kind of showcase that they're not just in it to be able to make a profit. That's important. Clearly, as a former small business owner, I can appreciate that. But what stands out a lot of times to us are the folks that are out there really trying to prove and show by consistent effort that they're really interested in the big picture for the city, and that they're a team player in the overall thing. And the last thing I want to say, and I know some of it was tongue in cheek on your side, Clarence, but I very much, from a mayor's perspective, look at things regionally. I'm very much interested in the success of every one of my neighbors. When Garland and Addison and Plano and Frisco and McKinney and Lavon and other cities around us do well, then Richardson does well. And so it's not a zero-sum game from my perspective. I'd really love to be able to see that rising tide helping everyone. When FIFA comes through, they're going to help everybody. And so so having even that regionalism as an element of what those businesses bring to the table is also noteworthy from a mayor's perspective.
And you hit it on the head there, Mayor Omar. It may have been tongue in cheek, but We don't exist individually. We exist together, which is why I'm a segue to Mayor Cheney and follow up on that same mindset, because we're not in this by ourselves. We're in this collectively. The benefits or the lessons learned from you there in Frisco or in Richardson, that's what small cities like Lavon will pick up for and then benefit from. Having been a small business leader yourself, starting, because I caught that tongue in cheek before, the body language. I'm sorry, I'm a trained polygraph examiner. So during your introduction, you were mentioned about your accounting firm, and it talked about your wife's business. Small businesses are the core of who we are. What's the major benefit that you see that's brought to Frisco by those small businesses?
Yeah, no, I mean, in our family, we own multiple small businesses. So like you said, we have a real estate firm here, and we own a yoga studio as well. And so between our two businesses, we employ 30 people here in Frisco.
Wow.
And so that's, I think there's some statistic, it's 90+% of all jobs are created by small businesses, and that serve the community. So obviously it's a major role, for how any community operates. And the small businesses are the ones that are serving the individual neighborhoods and kind of giving that community kind of that heart, so to speak. Frisco has been largely built on partnerships, and of course our big public-private partnerships like the Catholic and PGA and others get a lot of the headlines. But we take that same mentality, even through, our small business community. And really all a mayor can do and their support team and councils is create an environment where businesses can succeed. And so there's a lot of different ways that is done. I mean, and we lean on our Frisco Chamber really heavily. That used to not be the case, and so they've become, a real vital role in kind of our mission to serve the small business here in Frisco. But if you think about the small businesses, you see all these T-shirts, PTA T-shirts, and fun runs and other things happening in your community. There's always a list of logos on the back of those T-shirts, and they're usually the local real estate firm or the local dentist or the insurance agent and the people serving that community. And, that's how the cycle goes around, right? You're not seeing a lot of the large corporations as supporting a lot of these individual efforts. So, it's very much a big part of the ecosystem of what makes each community special.
You hit it on the head when you said ecosystem, sir, because we're all in it together to be better together. Hey, Brian, I think I'm going to pass back to you because I think we're up due for a break.
Yes, sir. So we are going to take a quick commercial break. I love the fact that you said the word ecosystem, Jeff, because we use that term on this show quite a bit. Yeah. Whether it's a business ecosystem, community ecosystem, it is all one big ecosystem, and it fuels and really proliferates itself, right, when you get it cooking. Love one key takeaway I wanted to share before we cut to commercial break. Mayor Omar, you mentioned the fact that, rising tide lifts all boats. Most businesses don't just do business in their own community, right? And if they're based in their own community, they have people coming from other communities. So it's not just a siloed effort here. That came across very well, not only on the show, but when we had our live panel discussion at the NAC Theater. What do we have? Jeff, you were there. We had McKinney, we had Salina, we had Anna, we had Prosper. All those communities were represented, and it was great to see the camaraderie and just the same mentality, right? Is that we're all here to help each other. Now, of course, there's a little bit of competitive fire amongst the different mayors and communities, which is fantastic, but love to hear that theme. So with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come out of there, and Susanna's got the next question. So stick around. We're going to continue on this topic.
Greatness doesn't happen in isolation. Behind every impactful community, there's a coalition. Behind every story we spotlight, there are partners who believe in what collaboration, leadership, and local excellence can build. Special thanks to our community champions. Pine Meadow Golf, custom-built golf clubs, factory direct to you. King's Camo and Sportsman's Warehouse, for those who train hard and live wild. Jocko Fuel, hard work, clean fuel, no excuses. Riker Home Services, your trusted partner for expert repairs and lasting peace of mind. These partners help power the community difference. Collin County, where business, community, and leadership intersect. To learn more and support those who support us, visit our website at thecommunitydifference.com and click on our partners page. And now back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. And if you're just joining us, we are talking with the mayors of Collin County, right? So continuing the theme that we've had throughout the month of October, and we're diving into the topic of how getting involved in the community can help your business and can help your relationship building ability. And with that, Suzanna, I'm going to hand it to you. You can ask. Here's the next question.
Perfect. So as a business owner and a person who lives in Plano, we do have all things Plano, but we also serve our surrounding communities. Since I don't know necessarily what's going on in everybody's community, except for when we come together with things like this and things that I read, what do you wish more business owners understood about your city's priorities? And what's one priority that's often misunderstood or that you think is overlooked entirely that somebody like me from the outside, you wish was more knowledgeable about? We'll go with Mayor Sanson.
Well, I think it's important that if I'm understanding your question correctly, that they understand our zoning. So if they want to put a particular building in a particular place, it's easier for the process of if it's actually zoned for that particular use, because then if it's not, then you have to go through the planning and zoning and the council trying to get it changed, and then it goes out to the residents, and if the residents say no, then it's then the council has to take that into consideration. So it's much easier if you've got a certain project, put it where we've our comprehensive plan has shown where we want things to go. And it just seems much easier that way.
I was thinking more in terms of initiatives, like we're a pet care business. Mm-hmm. So we could support, city health initiatives by promoting responsible pet ownership, offering community cleanup partnerships, those kinds of things. City priority, things that are priorities to your city specific.
Working with our existing businesses and getting them involved in the community. We've got a longtime bank that we had here that has probably been 3 different names, but they still have the same staff, knows everybody. And if we need help around with the city, like we were talking before about those T-shirts that they wear for field day at the schools. They've got all the businesses listed on there, and it's always the bank is always there helping. So they're helping with your financial needs, and also with your kids and with your families and the schools and the city, tying everything together.
Very nice. Mayor Omar, how can small businesses help amplify your priorities?
Yeah, so I think one of the things, and I'm a relatively new mayor, so I've been in the role now for a little over 5 months. So Mayor Cheney, I'm just a little bit less experienced than you are. By the way, hats off to 18 years. That's a massive amount of service for everything you've done for the city of Frisco. But I think each of the mayors can appreciate the fact that we get pulled in a lot of different directions, and those directions are many times very positive. It puts us in a position where we get to learn about needs and desires and goals of a number of the different partners that we're involved with. So, an example would be spending time with some of our local PTAs and our school districts and understanding where some of their needs are, because obviously one of the goals of any mayor is to make sure that the school opportunities, the educational opportunities in their city are the very best that they can possibly be. And so then taking those understandings that you pick up from all these different meetings that you have and pairing them up with companies that you also run into that happen to also have the ability to do something. So I'll give you a perfect example. Had an opportunity to visit with some of the schools understanding that within some of our schools, a desire to kind of amplify their backpack program was a big deal. Then getting a chance to visit with the CEO and some of the partners over at Fossil Corporation, which is a headquarters that's here in Richardson. All of a sudden, hearing what they care about and being able to connect those two organizations together ultimately meant that a whole lot of backpacks got provided for schools within our ISD. And so I think as a mayor, constantly being able to be connected to as many different pieces of what's going on in your city, and then recognizing the opportunity where this element could benefit from that element, and in a way that's cohesive and collaborative, I think that's the win-win. And so it's oftentimes a lot less about my own goals and much more about the goals of the different organizations that we interact with, to be able to make those connections and help businesses figure out how they can actually be a great community partner in a way that the business cares about versus the way that the mayor wants them to.
That's it.
Awesome. Mayor Cheney, you likely don't remember, but we touched a little bit about this. My business is located in the little Four Corner area. So, like I said, with somebody are you opposed to reaching out to small businesses like mine that are sitting just outside your city limits that could still be beneficial to something that might be going on in your community? Or are we all about exactly what's going on in Frisco only?
No, I mean, we definitely want to reach beyond our borders, certainly. And you touched on it when you asked the question, which a lot of times people that aren't in the day-to-day of a community have perceptions of that community. And it's hard sometimes for us to get that messaging out. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So when I was first elected mayor, I talked to a lot of developers, and the perception of Frisco is that we only wanted to be a sports and tourism town, and we weren't serious about bringing corporate relocations, when of course the opposite was true. So we had to really work to change that narrative as a community. And we actually used the HQ2 Amazon pitch, if you remember those days, to really kind of shift that narrative. And then, the Sports City USA brand is a great brand, but we're not just about sports, certainly. One of the things that we've tried to do that's been really successful is we do our annual planning work session every single year. And out of that, we come what we used to call a top 10 priority list. We don't call it that anymore. We call it a progress in motion list because we didn't want people to think that was, a higher priority than public safety or the day-to-day business of a city. But what it did is it kind of showed, hey, these are some new initiatives that we're going to plan to work on during this next year that are kind of above and beyond our blocking and tackling of day-to-day business. And so that's an easy, digestible way for small businesses like yourselves to say, hey, that's something I'm interested in. I want to go learn more, and maybe I have some expertise where I can provide value to that. And a perfect example with you specifically is we're having a big discussion right now about the future of animal services in Frisco, how we want to leverage our regional partnership that we have with the Collin County Animal Shelter and, add to that to provide services. And so, we're very much looking for input from local businesses such as yourself that serve the region, that can provide a lot of value to what we're trying to do in our decision-making process.
Thank you.
So, a question then. When you all did your introductions and we read your bios, you guys are very, very in tune to community service, service above self, service to others. Tell me one business that drives the passion in you based on what they do for your individual cities. Now, the big cities, we don't want to get anybody upset because you mentioned one person and not somebody else, but we all have our aha moments that this made a difference. I'm going to take the pressure off of Mayor Sanson right now. I'm going to go to Mayor Omar first. What's that business that's really been passionate, that's impacted you as mayor within your last 5 months, or throughout your time on council?
Yeah, so I'm going to take the liberty of not making it a business, but an organization.
There you go.
But an organization that is tremendously important to the city of Richardson. We, as you may or may not connect the dots, UT Dallas, which is a world-class university, a Tier 1 university, a university that is now 30,000 students strong, resides fully in the city of Richardson. And the collaboration with UT Dallas is something that we have had for generations of leaders here in Richardson. But my goal and my focus and where I very much believe a good part of how we continue to be a leader when it comes to innovation and entrepreneurship and creating Brian's favorite word, an ecosystem that fosters more and more of that is going to be by way of UT Dallas. What they are creating on a daily basis is not only going to be instrumental for the future of the city of Richardson, but also, frankly, for the future of the entirety of North Texas. They have thought leaders, they have business leaders, they have technology leaders that are there and a major part of where a focus of mine will be for as long as I get the opportunity to be mayor. And we have the exciting news of not only having a new mayor in the city of Richardson, but a new president with President Mogi there at UT Dallas. And so there's a unique opportunity for the two of us to be able to work together and make 1 + 1 = 11.
I wish you success in building upon that. Mayor Cheney, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a little bit about asking which one of your children are your favorite.
I tell them all.
But one I'll touch on is, Frisco is home to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. They serve obviously a national purpose, but it's very much locally driven. And so they participate in, a lot of our community events, have certain fundraisers here. And so it's really touching to kind of see that where, people that live in Frisco and businesses here in Frisco that, are supporting an effort that is making a difference, not just in our community, but across the country. We're very proud to have them here in Frisco, and they certainly inspire us each day.
Thank you so much, Mayor Cheney. Unfortunately, or fortunately, having to travel that road with my wife, thank you for having that there in Frisco, because the services offices there are off the chain. They're awesome. Mayor Sanson, your thoughts, please, ma'am.
Yes, well, Clarence, you might be familiar with my pick. I'm going to go with our oldest business. It's Moe's Exxon, and they are a landmark. If you're going down 78 and you're giving people instructions, it's like pass the Moe's Exxon, or go left or go right at the Moe's Exxon. And they have a gem of a gas station hamburger joint in there. It's called Burgers y Chili Loco. They keep winning awards for being the best gas station hamburgers in a 5-mile radius. So you can go in there and get your hamburgers and get your street tacos and your chicken salads. And it's inside of this gas station. And it's just the quintessential small town all-purpose stop. You've got your gas and your groceries and your beverages, lottery tickets, to hangout spot for all of our longtime locals, our seasoned friends who've seen everything and watched it all grow. They hang out in there. And of course, being a lakeside city, they also have bait for the fishermen. So it's everything that you could want to do. Moe's has it. They have a spot for local vendors outside that people can bring their food trucks in, and car washes for all of the many groups around town for the school district. So it's just everything happens at Moe's.
So in order to preserve that landmark, that I chased down that truck that was on fire, pulled them into Moe's away from the gas pumps, and put out the fire myself. So
good job. Good job.
CJ, do I hear that you are the savior of Lavon? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Oh, yes.
It's all about timing, and Heavenly Father put me in the right place at the right time to basically, it's a long story. I'll tell you later.
Yes, well, thank you.
I look forward to hearing that. No, I love hearing it, especially like I said up front, having different size communities and different aspects of it. I know Mayor Omar, you mentioned that educational aspect. I know we have some of that here in Frisco with UNT, and just love hearing the different sizes and different impacts each of the businesses and organizations within the communities have. With that, we're going to take our final commercial break. I do have a question for the mayors, and then we're going to wrap up. So stick around. We'll be right back for that final question. We'll see you shortly.
Greatness doesn't happen in isolation. Behind every impactful community, there's a coalition. Behind every story we spotlight, there are partners who believe in what collaboration, leadership, and local excellence can build. Special thanks to our community champions. Pine Meadow Golf, custom-built golf clubs, factory direct to you. King's Camo and Sportsman's Warehouse, for those who train hard and live wild. Jocko Fuel, hard work, clean fuel, no excuses. Riker Home Services, your trusted partner for expert repairs and lasting peace of mind. These partners help power the community difference. Collin County, where business, community, and leadership intersect. To learn more and support those who support us, visit our website at thecommunitydifference.com and click on our partners page. And now back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. Final home stretch here, last segment of the show. I just wanted to ask one more question. First of all, mayors, thank you all for spending some time with us today. I know you guys are super, super busy, so we appreciate that. Our viewers appreciate it. And secondly, thank you for putting yourselves out there. It's no, especially in today's social media driven society, it can be a beatdown. I mean, I'm seeing it firsthand, and it can get ugly, and it can get ugly quick, and it can stay ugly. So thank you all for putting yourselves out there and volunteering, because yeah, you might get paid a little bit, but for the number of hours that you put into the job, you get paid less than minimum wage, I guarantee you. And I'm sure each one of you have done those calculations and question your sanity sometimes. But with that, so we have long tenured, Mr. Cheney, super long tenured with public service. Mayor Omar, you may only have 5 months under the belt as mayor, but you've been in city council for a long time. And Mayor Sanson, you've been at it for quite a bit as well. So this is more of a reflection question, right? So Mayor Cheney, you're rolling off your last term. What are you most proud, or what would you like your legacy to be remembered as you roll off in mayorship?
I mean, it has been interesting kind of getting to this last year. I've definitely become more reflective. I think when you're in the seat and you're blowing and going on a daily basis, sometimes you don't stop to kind of smell the roses or appreciate the work that's been done as much as maybe that you should. And now I'm kind of at the point where it's like, okay, this is the last time I'm doing my State of the City, or it's the last time I'm doing a 9/11 address. And, now's my last opportunity to do everything. And there's certainly projects I'm trying to wrap up. And so, I as you mentioned, there's a lot of good that comes with the role. There's a lot of things I think all of us on this panel would wish we wouldn't have to deal with. And I think at the end I'll remember the good things that came with it. As far as legacy, I mean, I was fortunate. We've got a great team. A lot has happened in Frisco. While I've had the pleasure to serve, and there's projects that I was a secondary player and I let someone else take a lead, and that's why the project happened. And other times where it's like, I've got to drive this to the finish or it's not going to happen. And so I think that knowing that it's very much a team effort, the mayors get more credit than we deserve. We get more blame than we deserve probably too. But that's probably that's a part of your job. And there's a lot of things that get headlines. I mean, of course, bringing the PGA of America, that's probably the hardest project we've ever done as a city. So just knowing what it took to make that happen. Of course, the Star and Toyota Stadium. I'm really proud of our library, just because we had to make a decision on a $60 million library in the middle of COVID when we had budget uncertainty. So it took a lot of courage for council to do that. And And had we not done it, our $60 million library probably would have been a $100 million plus library. We wouldn't have been able to do it to the same scale that we did. And so, it's having courage in the right moments, creating a culture that's, more business oriented and minded, where you're not afraid to fail. That you think more of a mindset of, hey, what can go right, versus always looking over your shoulder as far as, what can go wrong is going to be what drives my decisions. And so, really proud of a lot of those things. But then there's all the stories that never make the headlines, the individual business that you helped, or someone who had a problem, with their sidewalk, and you're able to get it resolved, and just how thankful they are. And so, those are a lot of the small things that you remember along the way. And so it's definitely been kind of a journey. It's been a lifetime honor to be able to serve in this capacity, and something that I'm very grateful for.
Awesome. Great answer. Love it. Mayor Omar, how about yourself?
I want to go back to the well one more time with Mayor Cheney. I mean, I think it's inspiring to see someone who's given that many years and done so much for their community, and so it's an honor to be in this with him, and also with you, Mayor Sanson. It means a lot to see others that are giving of themselves in the way that public figures oftentimes do. I served on our city council from 2009 through 2013. And as I mentioned when we were in the green room at the very beginning, it took 12 years before I felt like it was time for me to run again, and this time for mayor. And I can say that I hope, in my time in my first terms, my focus was very much on transparency, removing any of the perceived places where, we can't see this and we don't know that, and there's so much skepticism that surrounds local politics, and the concern that is there some inside dealing or this or that. And so, being able to expand transparency is something that I've always been incredibly proud of as a first-term council person. The knowledge, whether you're on council or mayor or you're a volunteer in the city, that you can do things that can make a big difference for your community. And I would say probably when this is all said and done, that's a big hope for me. Getting a chance now to serve very early in a mayor's term, but with the opportunity to serve as many as 12 years if the residents would keep me. I look at those 12 years and the hope is that when it's all said and done, whether it's 2 years or 12 years, that people can look at the work that I put in and feel like I was able to make a difference for my community. So I would leave it at that.
Awesome. Love it. And last but not least, Mayor Sanson, thoughts on legacy and what you're most proud of?
Well, I started off before by saying in 2014, I got on planning and zoning so I could see how everything works, how all the pieces fit together with the city. And so here we are 11 years later, and I'm still trying to bridge all the corners of Lavon. We've got the councils and the boards and all the new businesses that we have now, and not forgetting the schools, because we've got 3 schools in our community ISD that are in Lavon. So, and I work for the school district. So I didn't start out by seeing the importance of bringing the schools in, but the schools need the businesses just like the businesses need the schools. So, here we are. So, we've got an 80-acre park that the council's working on, and the businesses want to know what can you put in there, that we might be able to attract people to come to our business. And then the school says, what are you going to put in there to help us with the park needs that we need for the school? So it's just, again, here 11 years later, we're talking about how everything fits together into the one big puzzle, and everyone's trying to coordinate everyone together. So we can say, here's all these pieces, but now we've come together and we've got this beautiful Lavon, and everyone's thriving because we're all working together.
Love it. Great answer. That actually is a great segue, because it's time to wrap the show. It's amazing how quickly an hour and 15 minutes flies by. Here we are at the end of it. Couple key takeaways that I've heard throughout our discussion, right? Just get involved, right? You started with the chamber or planning, zoning, boards and commissions, whether you make it on a board or commission or not. That's how Mayor Cheney started. So the idea is just get involved, right? I heard a theme, we're all in this together. That was a great theme that I pulled out of this is, yes, we're all pulling for our own cities, but the success of one city oftentimes breeds the success of another. So it was great to hear that theme come out. Teamwork makes the dream work, kind of the same thing. Small businesses are the heartbeat of the community. So yeah, it's great to have some great big players, whether it be Fossil or whether it be TIA, whatever it is in Frisco. The small businesses are usually the ones that have those logos on the back of the shirts for a 5K or whatever. So that's one other thing I heard. One other thing I want to make sure I remind the audience of, again, Wednesday, November 19th at the NAC Theater, the next BDA meeting, networking panel discussion, we are going to have first responders. So it's National First Responder Month. This month, we're going to have first responders on the panel discussion as well as BDA or podcast guests for the next month. So stay tuned for that next month, as well as attend the BDA on November 19th, NAC Theater, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, that was a mouthful. Had to get that all out. What I want to do right now, just go around the horn before we cut to our final outro. Remind the audience who you are and how to get a hold of you, hopefully for positive information, but of course, there will be negative as well. Mayor Cheney, we'll start with you. Who are you? What do you do? And how do people get a hold of you?
Jeff Cheney, Mayor of Frisco. There's a few ways. I don't mind giving my cell phone out. It's 214-707-7320 or jcheney@friscotexas.gov.
Be careful what you wish for, huh? Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Mayor Omar.
Amir Omar, the mayor of the city of Richardson. You can always reach me at amir.omar@core.gov. Really honored to be on this with you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. And Mayor Sanson, last but not least.
Hi, I'm Vicki Sanson. I'm mayor with the city of Lavon, and I can be reached at vsanson@lavontx.gov. That's my city email, and everything goes through there. And thank you so much for inviting me and having me today.
You are very welcome. Thank you for your time today. Thank you all the mayors for joining us today, both on this show and our previous mayors who've joined us on previous shows. Once again, we appreciate all your service. Thank you so much for your time. Co-hosts, appreciate you guys as always. Great to see you. And with that, we're going to sign off. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
The Community Difference, Collin County was made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Ralwin with the B. Ralwin Realty Group, Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners, Debbie Watson with Abracadoodle, Danielle Cook with No Sweat Experts, Kim Wallace with Farmers Insurance, Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, Meena Singh, College Prep Coach, Suzanna Austin with K9 Resorts, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference.